Here, have a banana. That has to be one of the funniest things that this season of One Punch Man has done. Like, seriously, of all things. Like, Saitama, he walks in, he's like, have a banana, folks, it'll fix you right up. And I'm just like, really, man? Like, what makes this scene so hilarious when, like, he offers a banana is that, at first, he puts it on Moomin Rider's, like, you know, chest. And then, once that is done, you see him place it on Shoranko's injured leg. And then once that was done, Tank Top, he's getting all angry and aggressive. And then Saitama's like, here you go, have a banana. He's like, oh, thank you. And he completely calms down. And the man just... It's funny. It's just so funny how Saitama, this man wasn't taking anything seriously, but he was offering bananas in a way to gain information. And just like, man, this is like 100% like expert 100 level bargaining skill or something. Like, this man did a fantastic job getting information out of those three before he could go and do what he did at the end of the episode. So just the entire banana scene or hospital scene, hilarious and easily one of the best moments of the episode if we're not talking about action-wise. If we're just talking sheer comedy, that was hilarious. Now, another scene, too, that was really good was the finale, the final part of this episode after the ending song. Now, just in case you have not watched it, because there is an off chance you might not have seen it, because I know for a fact when the ending credits roll around, many watchers typically stop watching the episode. They assume that's the end of the episode, so they just end the episode and they move on. Well, there is a scene after the ending song, so if you want to watch it and you haven't seen it, go for it before you continue with this video. Now, anyways, to get right into it, the scene is Genos watching Saitama put on a wig. Now, you gotta imagine, from the outsider's perspective, seeing Saitama put on a wig, you're gonna be like, oh man, this man, he's self-conscious. He's very self-conscious about his appearance, and everything kind of falls into place. I mean, number one, he just recently got a hero name called Bald Cape, which I'm a little bit upset about that, by the way. I prefer the, like, fan translation. It's called, like, Caped Baldy, but that's for another day, another discussion. But anyways, with his name being Bald Cape, you know, and you throw in him putting on a wig, Genos is probably putting A and B together. It's like, this man is really sensitive about his head and how there, you know, is no hair. And seeing him put on the wig and all that, he's like, okay, doctor, I need you to put in some, like, fiber fake hair or whatever for Saitama. You need to insert it into his skin for he could be able to actually have a functioning head of hair. And it's just funny. The entire scene is great because Genos goes through and making a schedule, plans, doctor appointment, and all that. And then he turns around and asks Saitama, like, hey, are you free on Wednesday? After Saitama was just sitting there listening to the entire conversation. Just that funny. But okay, so with all the comedy out of the way, let's talk about the main serious part about this episode, and that is Garo. Garo becoming a threat, becoming a monster. Now, obviously, at the end of the episode, Saitama does one-shot him, which, once again, this is obvious. Like, it's obvious it's gonna happen, because when it comes to this series, Saitama will always be the strongest. No matter what, whatever challenge comes to face him, even if it's like an entity that could wipe out all of the universe, like a Thanos-level threat or something, you know, he will always be able to just one-shot any opponent, no matter what. That's just Saitama's character. That's what it means to hold the title One Punch Man. But at the same time, though, we do know that the other individuals, like the other characters of the story, S-rank heroes and all that, or even below, they are pretty strong. Like, they are main characters as well. They are people that have to struggle to get where they're at. And that's kind of where the threat and the danger comes into play in this series. Even though Saitama can come in and do, like, wham, and just instantly end an opponent like nothing, you have it to where others will struggle against Garo and potentially die. And so seeing some of the scenes with Garo, it's going to put everybody on the edge of their seat, especially that Moomin Rider scene. Like that, I remember looking at that in the manga. When I first glanced at that in the manga, I was incredibly scared for Moomin Rider because it's so brutal. And watching it in anime form, I actually have to say it's a little bit more brutal than the manga. Like, holy crap, just hearing the head splat sound and just seeing the blood flow and all that, I'm just like, holy crap. Like, honestly, if I didn't know any better, I would have thought that he would have died right then and there. Like, Moomin Rider was dead in that moment just because of how brutal it looked in this episode. And so I know many were just freaking out. And I mean, seeing Tank Top, an S-rank hero, just getting wiped out like he did, just got completely destroyed, it just shows that Garo is a serious threat. He is someone that is going to get a lot of our characters a run for their money. And eventually, he most likely will have to be put down by Saitama. Yes, he was knocked out this episode, but let's be real here. This isn't the real main fight between Garo and Saitama. This is just kind of like a precursor before the real match begins. And I do believe that this might actually fuel Garo to get a lot stronger, because you got to remember something. Garo, he got one shot, and after the constant wins he's been receiving since like the last episode to this episode, it's kind of built up his ego a little bit. And just having some random dude that he doesn't know come in and just like wham, just like karate chops him and he falls to the ground, you know, that's gonna kind of ruin your mood, your morale, and it's just going to make it to feel like, holy crap, I can't even defeat this this random no-name. So I feel like Garo's one of his main objectives is probably to find Saitama, figure out who knocked him out, but also try to surpass him one day. And I think that's right there the main plot point, is that it's gonna fuel Garo to get even stronger than he is right now, because he was just wiped out that quickly, because he wants to train, but now realizing that he's such a level below someone else will fuel him. Now, another thing too is that the fight Garo had with Tank Top, it's an interesting fight just to show what type of person Garo is and his fighting style. It's clear that his fighting style is radically different from everything else that our characters have had to face prior to this episode. Most of the heroes are used to fighting monsters that use their overwhelming strength. And I mean, when you really do think about it, every encounter our characters have had, like since Season 1, they've always had to fight a brutal, like straight up fist fight, like a brutal, like strength fight. It was all about overwhelming strength instead of actually martial arts and outplaying your opponent. That's pretty much what Garo's fighting style is like, outplaying the person he fights. And so he's kind of like designed, his overall character, his fighting style is designed to bring down heroes. It isn't just overwhelming and destructive capabilities, he just is able to completely annihilate heroes because he just makes it where their body can't move, which is what he did to Tank Top. Now, another little detail there is that he does use a move from Silver Fang. He uses like flowing water, which in turn makes him very fast and quick, and he's able to attack the joints of his opponent and incapacitate them, which is what he did to Tank Top when he couldn't even lift himself up. When his knee was on the ground and he couldn't pick himself up, was because of that move, because of the martial arts that Garo used against him, which shows the reason why Silver Fang is very cautious, why he is worried about Garo, because he taught Garo a lot. He is someone that was Silver Fang's disciple, and then someone going around using your skills like that for the wrong reasons, but also destroying S-class heroes is pretty freaking scary. So before everything's said and done, you know, it's gonna be quite the issue to deal with. And also, I am looking forward to next week's episode, because it's kind of where I stopped reading the manga at, and I'm really, really interested in seeing a certain scene with Garo and another character next week. I am pretty freaking excited for it. But okay, let's get into the art animation, because that is something that I have yet to talk about for this episode, and I want to get into it. So, as you noticed, I've actually waited a little bit before I talked about it, and the reason for that is actually because this episode was really good. Like, I'm not talking about, like, just, like, average, but it was above average. It was nowhere near Season 1, obviously, but, like I said, it's never gonna be like that. But the level of quality within this episode was definitely a step up from the first two episodes. It's like the team, everybody that was working on One Punch Man Season 2 got together and really got together to make this episode really good. Like, the entire Garo versus Tank Top scene was amazing. The flow of each individual scene was beautiful. Even the slice of life moments with, like, you know, Saitama giving a banana, there's just some really good moments throughout this episode with art and animation. So, I am going to compliment JC's staff and everybody that worked on this episode for the work they did. It was fantastic work. Easily the best episode of One Punch Man Season 2. Now, obviously, that's not saying much because the first 2 episodes are kind of meh. But overall, though, it was a good episode in terms of art and animation. So, job well done on that. Please keep up the good work. So, another thing to really get into. Let's talk about the speed of the story for a second. I could be forgetting things. It's a possibility. But anyone else feel like this adaptation of One Punch Man Season 2 is moving rather quickly? Like, I don't know why, but when I was watching this episode, it felt like we were going to one scene to the next very quickly. And it was a good episode, but it felt like, holy crap, we're really going through the content very quickly. And I'm just worried that we might be skipping some details, which I don't know. I mean, I know JC staff does that from time to time, but not every, person that works on a series of JC staff does that, but it does happen. And I am worried that there is some stuff being skipped. I just don't remember because it's been a while since I actually read the One Punch Man manga. So if anyone could kind of clarify, please do so in the comments below. But I think that's pretty much about it. I want to, wrap up this video here. Let me know your thoughts and comments below. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below. And with that, Chibi out.